Welcome to Norwood City School Board meeting Thursday, May 21st, 2015 at the Norwood Mini School Auditorium. Call to our, we need to appoint an internal and secretary.
Make a motion to appoint Scott Faulkner.
Okay, I'll second. If you could-
Ms. Scott-Geraci,
Yes.
Mr. Bryant,
Yes.
and I'll be a yes.
All right. If you could call the roll.
Ms. Scott-Geraci,
Here.
Mr. Bryant,
Here.
Mr. Faulkner's here.
Okay. If we could stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next item would be adoption of the agenda.
Make a motion for adoption of the agenda.
I'll second.
Ms. Scott-Geraci,
Yes.
Mr. Bryant,
Yes.
and Mr. Faulkner's a yes.
Presentations?
Approval of minutes.
Huh? Oh, I'm sorry. Approval of the minutes.
Make a motion for approval of minutes.
I'll second.
Oh, hold on one second, let me get back to the extra box here. Ms. Scott-Geraci,
Yes.
Mr. Bryant,
Yes.
and Mr. Faulkner's a yes.
Now, presentations.
Yeah, Mr. President, members of the board, we have a number of presentations this evening before us on the agenda. Our first presentation is Williams Avenue Elementary School Technology. Prior to the start of this school year, the district made a significant investment in instructional technology in the classroom. Each month, we've spotlighted a different school to show how we are integrating technology into the classroom. And this month, it is Williams Avenue Elementary School and Miss Katie Dykes and Miss Erin Schaefer. So if you guys can come forward.
Is it actually on? Is it turn on? Do you want to start? You want me to start?
Okay, so we'll get started. I am Mrs. Erin Schaefer, and I teach math and social studies at Williams Avenue Elementary here in Norwood. This is my teaching partner, Mrs. Katie Dykes, and she teaches the reading and science in the 5th grade at Williams Elementary.
And while this kind of warms up, we're going to talk today about what we started in our classroom, which we call Genius Hour. Basically, at the beginning of summer, we found out we were getting Chromebooks, we were going to have Google, we were going to have new Common Core standards, and we were just really overwhelmed with everything. And so we decided that we just had to kind of go all in with everything. And on the first day of school, we were going to immerse the kids in the technology as much as possible. We kind of realized that we didn't have time to teach non-content-based technology, that we couldn't do typing programs. We didn't really have time to teach like mouse skills. So we decided immersion was the best way to go about it.
So we did decide to immerse the students directly in the technology. We started day 1, and that was kind of how our idea of Genius Hour was born. We decided we would do 20 to 30 minutes 3 times a week, and we would engage the students in a meaningful, content-based research project. Not only would this be incredibly helpful with just learning technology skills, typing, keyboarding, word processing, but it would also help us to incorporate all of the brand new content standards that were new this year with the Common Core: English Language Arts, Science, Social Studies. Go back.
Yeah. Sorry. So we decided that the students, after they kind of came in on the first day, did like a little mini assessment to see where they were. they really needed a lot of help with the technology piece and with typing, so we decided to schedule it. So we started, our first project was a really detailed rubric and graphic organizer, and then slowly took pieces away until the last 2 months of school where they were working 100% independently.
The progress we saw that the students made in all areas of technology was just incredible. They gained lots of confidence in their own abilities with the technology. They have taught me many things about the technology through this whole process. We're really impressed with their abilities to not only just word processing skills, but they're able and very confident to open search on the internet and find multiple sources of information that kind of relate to any topic that we threw at them. They not only found the information, they then were able to put it in their own words, synthesize, summarize the information. They were able to quote accurately from the text and then to give credit to where credit was due. We talked a lot about that. They could copy, they could paste, they could insert graphics, they could insert hyperlinks. They're able to post videos inside of presentations and then present that to their fifth grade peers.
And one of the reasons why we went about everything this way was because of the presentation piece this year and the listening and speaking piece for the ELA Common Core is so big, and it's a new part of kind of our report card and in general, like 3 through 6 standards of what students need to be able to do. It's just not something they've been expected to do in the past couple years.
A big thing with us to start was being able to organize the information. We started day 1 and we helped them and kind of showed them step by step. This is how you have to organize. You have to make a file, it has to be labeled this, you have to share it with us. But then students gained the confidence and they were able to make organize their own drives. So these are screenshots from actual student computers. The student over here on the left, he did a report on Nikola Tesla. He was able to organize all of his information. He liked the grid view with all of the pictures. And then the student up here on the right, he liked the list form. And it just goes to show they really became confident in organizing things for themselves. They were embedding folders. They were creating their own folders within folders and then sharing it out to us.
So our first project was on endangered animals, which went really well with our life science unit that we were doing. So you can see on the right, students were given a rubric that explained exactly everything they needed point by point, and it explained everything they needed in the PowerPoint presentation. And then they were given this graphic organizer that was super specific on exactly what everything needed to be within it, because we wanted to guide them as much as we could through this process.
Students had to create their own slideshow. That was the way we said that the information had to be presented. And we started, this is an example of one of our students' slides, and we found that because we had given them so much point by point, that's how the slides ended up. As you can see here, this student, he simply kind of rewrote point by point from his graphic organizer onto his slide and then pasted pictures. Yes, they're gorillas, but they don't always go with the information. So we knew that that was something we had to work on.
And we put this picture in just from this is an example of another one where students, they didn't figure out, it is. Another student taught pretty much the entire class how to use pictures as backgrounds and how to either apply it to all or just put in specific ones. But again, the students were just copying information directly from whatever sources they were using, and nothing was kind of being put into the reports.
The next slide's a really good example of how our students just played with transitions. If you hit it again, you can see, and just keep going. They just things jump in and out, random pictures pop up. But again, the students were exploring the technology for their own and kind of learning it on their own. And they came to find that later on, this isn't the best way to present information. This is not the most effective slide. This is not going to really show what I've learned and then teach others.
So our second project was on one of our social studies standards, and it was on a country report. And for this one, we decided to give them a graphic organizer and rubric that was more based on the idea of writing a 5-paragraph research report. Writing is a really big thing in ELA this year, and so it was something we really wanted to push for and see how they did. Students' rubrics were a lot more vague, so they had to really work on pulling that information out. With this, we did go around and help them kind of learn to read that informational text on countries and how to read maps and how to look for major manufacturers and presidents and populations, things like that.
Here's 2 examples of students' work. We really found that a couple of students really found their own voice as they wrote their country report as if they were a tour guide or visiting with their family. And then some students also just kind of went again by that rubric, point by point.
One thing we did notice on this is the writing teacher, the information didn't actually go together into paragraphs, so it was definitely something we needed to work on. They again were just kind of copying and pasting those ideas into paragraphs and then just plugging them in. There weren't a lot of transitional words, so although it looked like there was a lot of length to it, it wasn't really quality writing.
Our next report, we've had them research a famous scientist. We removed much more of our assistants at this point. They were responsible for writing a research paper. We did not give them any specific links to search on the internet, so they had to kind of go and do some open searching and then sift through the information that they found.
And on this report, we, worked a lot on writing those good quality paragraphs and using transitional words and really using good information, but a big part of it was that we had all the students, they had to synthesize their 5-paragraph report into just a note card that they had to be able to present to the rest of the school through like the Living Scientist Museum, where it was just those important contributions of that scientist.
We next did a project on space. The students had to present their space project in a slideshow form where they were open searching again on the internet. We didn't provide them with any links. The rubric, we didn't provide a rubric, we provided them a very limited kind of graphic organizer. They didn't have a lot to go from. And with this, our students were able to find just amazing graphics that went with the topic that they were interested in. They got to pick their own planet. And here's some examples of these are actual things our students found from their space projects.
So they were able to find graphics that as science teachers we weren't able to find when we were building science curriculum. They also started to really pay attention to the fact that the picture went with the text, which again was an ELA standard, understanding those graphics and that media piece. The other thing is that we really liked was that it started a lot of conversations at home. Kids were looking at that Cosmos show on Netflix. They were talking to their parents about it. They started to work on the project and look for things at home. And we started to have really interesting conversations in class, like, oh, it rains diamonds on 3 planets. How does that work? Is it like the water cycle? Do they come back through? And then the students kind of started looking for that information themselves at home. Or when they had like inside recess because it was so cold and snowy at the time, things like that. So we were happy with those learning. These are just some more examples of students' graphics that they found.
Here is this student we really enjoyed. He kind of listened to us all year long, and how when we present, Mrs. Dix always uses her color of the topic. So he kind of took that, and so when he did his topic, he highlighted in blue all the important things that he wanted to make sure he said to his audience. And this just shows that he was really listening. And again, he's now made a complete, really well-written paragraph. We then did a president report or president project. Students were only given 2 links, and they had to use only those 2 links to navigate through the internet. We had a really nice conversation about how to take one link or one page and then to look around and how the cursor changes from an arrow to a hand. Oh, and that's another link, and that's an external link. And I can click there, and I can click here, it's blue, and it'll take me somewhere else that gives me more information. And our students were able to find so many interesting things. The president report sparked a lot of interest and curiosity at home. Many students found the president's code names. Secret Service code names. So we had a lot of emails from parents about how much fun they were having at home looking those up.
This is an example of one of the reports. On this one, the student went above the 5-paragraph kind of requirement. He realized that the information he had didn't just fit into those 5 paragraphs, so he extended it out. He had some pictures that went with his written report. And again, I think it's important to know that he was able to type this entire thing in less than 90 minutes. It was 60 minutes. He had all the information, and then he just kind of
Typed it out.
typed it up as quick as he could. So that fluency in typing was also something we were starting to see a lot of growth in.
And then, like kind of our final culmination project, this is where we wanted the students, our goal at the beginning of the year was to have them like 100% on their own. We told them we were stepping away, we weren't giving them a rubric, we were not giving them a graphic organizer. So we let them have, like, pick a topic that they wanted to do with our approval, of course, but then just kind of sent them out to search. And then they could present that to us in any way that they wanted.
And we noticed one of the things they did is once they had their topic, they started to make their own graphic organizers and started to write down the information. A lot of kids went home over spring break and started kind of researching this and gathering their information without any assistance once they knew their topic because they were excited about picking their own. So the students chose lots of different topics. One student did it on coach and the history and like kind of how the coach brand started. Another student went with Great White Sharks. One did it on the Golden State Warriors, specifically 2 players that are known as the Splash Brothers. Another student did it on video game glitches, and he actually went home and used a special controller where he was able to record his video game glitches that he created and then embedded them into his PowerPoint. Student did the history of Rome. One little girl wanted to do Ebola because she was really interested in it at the beginning of the year during the outbreak.
Yeah.
And another student did a research report on R.L. Stein. We were really surprised on this since they were allowed to present it any way they wanted, that most of them chose the research report. That although the slideshows are usually more fun to create, it's actually harder to kind of put the information in and figure out what goes where.
We were really impressed that a lot of them chose to just write that research paper, and they wrote wonderful ones. They wrote complete paragraphs and complete sentences, and it didn't take them that long.
The other thing we noticed by this time is that students realized they needed to go back and reread their work and usually present it to somebody else, and that when they read things out loud, they were able to find a lot more of their mistakes in their writing and kind of the flow of the general paper. These are just some examples real quick. This student was in the history of chocolate, and he wrote the entire thing in a French accent, and then presented it that way, and gave out Academici's chocolate because it was locally made.
This is the students on Rome, and again, it's gone from that point by point, here's the information, to a well-written, well-thought-out paragraph. It's kind of synthesized information across time where, you know, before this is Rome, after, and kind of compares it to modern day. And the graphics fit, they go really well with the point that he's trying to make.
And then this is just another one. A student did the Summer Olympics, and he realized that when they're presenting, you should really have different words highlighted or in bolder font so that it stood out to the audience and kind of drew their attention into it.
And here's some of our students with the things that they loved kind of the most about Genius Hour. It was really something that they just take ownership in, and if it's something that if our schedule changes throughout the day or the week, they don't want to lose that time. It's something that they will come to own. They enjoy it, they love it. They talk about it at home, they talk about it at lunch, they talk about it at recess. So it's something that we feel has really just been a huge benefit to them this year.
And I will say, again, as a language arts teacher, the confidence they went into on the PARC assessments after doing this up through February and March was just huge. Like, none of them were worried about typing, none of them were worried about navigating or logging in or doing anything else. So I think the idea of going in the first day of the school year and just like getting started, like, yeah, this is the way it is this year, was probably really the best idea for us. Thank you very much.
Aaron and Katie, that's wonderful, and that's just an example of the great things that you guys are doing in the classroom every day, and I really appreciate your efforts. We gotta have another round of applause for our great teachers. Our next presentation this evening is by Mr. Marshall Dykes. If Marshall could come down and come forward. Marshall is the director of the Norwood Knights Chess Club. One of the greatest sources of pride in our entire school district, in our entire city, is the Norwood Knights Chess Club. To watch our young men and young women represent our district, not only with class, but great knowledge and know-how and success and skill is tremendous. And great kudos go to Mr. Dykes and to all of our students. And every year, it's really great because this has become a tradition where Mr. Dykes comes and brings some of the participants of the team and talk about even more and more honors and accolades. So turn it over to you, Mr. Dykes.
It's on.
That's on. I don't think you
I
typically
won't
need it.
need it, but if I use it and I use my voice, I'll be in trouble.
Is this inside recess voice or outside tonight?
I'll use it inside for today.
Okay, thank you.
My name is Marshall Dykes, and I am the head coach of the Norwood Knights Chess Club. 35 of our Norwood Knights bravely competed once again at the Queen City Classic Chess Tournament at the Paul Brown Stadium this year. This is one of the largest chess tournaments for school-age children in the country. There were over 700 competitors from 5 states competing for prestige and honor. This was our 13th year in attendance, and once again, our Norwood Knights shined bright. We brought home team trophies in every division we had a team. This includes a second place team trophy for our 5th grade team, a second place team trophy for our 6th grade team, and a 3rd place trophy for our 7th through 9th division. We also had more than 10 individual trophies, many being received by the students who are here with me tonight. Wave your hands in the air. As they say, we brought home the hardware. The trophies, however, were, in my estimation, the least of the awards we earned this year. I teach my students that learning to compete with honor, with sportsmanship, while treating others with respect and dignity is a far more valuable lesson in life than a shiny piece of plastic that sits on a shelf. In these respects, our Norwood Knights were truly in a class of their own. We were complimented by the staff and the volunteers on numerous occasions for our politeness. Coaches from other teams found purpose to seek me out, to compliment our students, not for the number of games we were winning, but for the humility that our students showed both in winning and in losing. A mother of a student met me at the elevators demanding to speak to the head coach of the kids in the blue shirts. When I informed her that that was me, she told me that this was her son's first time at any chess tournament, and he had lost his first 3 games, and he was not handling it well. And she had decided that if he lost his 4th game, that she was just going to take him home. And so she saw him come down the steps after his 4th game, and he had the biggest smile on his face, and he's bounding down, and she's certain he's finally won a game. And she said, "How did you do?" And he said, "I lost." And she said, "But you're in a good mood." And he said, "Mom, I lost my game. I was really upset, and I started to cry. I mean, like, really cry. But my opponent didn't get up and, like, rush off to celebrate and be congratulated for winning. They stayed, and they told me I was the best game they'd had all day. And then like 5 or 6 other kids from the team came over, and they were congratulating me and telling me I'd worked hard and I should stay and do better. And by the time they were done, I felt great again." Before the mom walked away, she said, and I quote, "If they gave awards or trophies for having class, the Norwood Knights would take 1st place." That was truly the only trophy that mattered to me if we won. And according to everyone from the security guard at the front door, to the lady selling soft drinks, to the coaches and parents in the room, to Penny Pomerantz, the event's organizer, and even Chris Collinsworth, the event's sponsor, we did. Norwood should be proud of the values these children revere, the tradition of excellence they leave in their wake, and certainly the bright futures that await them. Thank you for your time.
Mr. Dykes, could you bring up your team members that are here tonight and introduce them?
Absolutely. Come on, come on. I only brought a few. We've got like 64 in the chess club. 35 of us went. I didn't want to fill the entire auditorium, so I just brought students who I felt really embodied the heart and soul of chess in Norwood. This is Dalia Khalil, 6th grade young lady, wonderful chess player. Her brother Abdullah Khalil, our youngest and cutest member. Omar Khalil, Cameron Jesse, Caroline Kelly, James Reddy, Clara Kelly, Hunter Brayton, and our tallest, Mr. Will Jones.
Congratulations again to Mr. Dykes and the Norwood nice chess team. Our next presentation is a resident educator program graduates. If Mr. Miller could begin to make his way to the podium, please. The Ohio Department of Education requires that all entry-level teachers complete a 4-year residency program, kind of similar to in the medical field, but not the same pay. And so you have to complete this 4-year residency program, and once you graduate from that, then you can actually apply for and qualify for a 5-year professional teaching license. So without taking the rest of Mr. Miller's information tonight, Mr. Joe Miller, our Director of Special Education.
I'll use the mic. I'm not sure if I speak loud enough. So thank you, Mr. Modio, Mr. President, and members of the board. We want to recognize and congratulate our 4-year resident educator program graduates. As Mr. Modio indicated, the resident educator program is a 4-year program instituted by ODE that asks school districts to provide ongoing support for new teachers. So not only do new teachers come to us having gone through 4 years, sometimes 6 years of school, they now need to go through another 4 years of support within the school district before they move on to their 5-year professional license. And very quickly, just to give you a summary of kind of what each of those resident educators do in the various years. In years 1 and 2, we assign specific mentors. That is, our veteran teachers work in often cases one-on-one with teachers to be their mentors, to provide feedback, to do observations. The resident educators are asked to really go through a process, a reflective process of looking at their teaching, assessing how their students are doing, plan for teaching, teach, and then revise, and do this whole cycle over and over again. And it's not just a checklist. It's really about how can I get better at this profession, and ultimately, how can I do better and better things for our students. In year 3, these teachers actually go through an evaluative process that's done through a vendor outside of the state. So they submit lesson plans, they submit reflective information and looking at their own teaching, as well as video of their teaching that gets scored by an outside evaluator. And once passing that process, they move to year 4, where we ask them to begin to take leadership roles within their buildings and within the district, with the support of their administrators, the building principal, colleagues, fellow teachers, and the like. In short, it's a lot of work, but it's very much worth it for the teachers as individuals and our district as a whole, because it pulls in all of these folks that help support that process to make this profession better for our students. So Without any further delay, let me, one person I missed when we kind of did this in an individual, a smaller group, I missed this person. So I really need to call this person out first if she's here. There are several folks not here. They might be at some of our, in DC with our middle school folks on field trip, but we want to recognize everyone, and if you are here, please come down and be recognized, and we want to give a certificate to you. So, so Lauren Weinheimer, I'm going to call her out first, please, if you wouldn't mind coming down. Oh, yeah. If you don't mind coming down this way, we were going to get a photo as well. Miss Nicole Wiseman and Peter Zesterman, I know, are not here, but I want to recognize them. They are on the DC trip. Caleb Barber. Katie Ostendorf. Morgan Cox. Natalie Stumple. I know he wants to come up. Miss Kelly Rockers. And Rachel Peters. Congratulations to our resident educators.
Congratulations again, guys. Before we go to our Rising Star recognitions, Mr. Dykes, if you could bring your team back down, because you guys ran away real quick before we could get some pictures, so you can come back down.
We're gonna have a strong camera. I'm see some of these kids' faces.
Congratulations, guys. Our next presentations and recognition tonight are our staff and our student Rising Stars. Rising Stars are selected and nominated for our students. You're selected and nominated by your building teachers, your classroom teachers, and the administration of your building. And then for our staff members, you're nominated by your colleagues and coworkers. The nominations and selections to be Rising Stars are based on your attitude, your effort, your work ethic, and generally doing great work as a student and doing great work as a staff member. When I call your name, come forward. You have a certificate you'll receive from Mr. Bryant. Stay down here in the front, standing on the blue carpet in front of the stage. And stay down here because, well, we got more pictures to get for everybody. What I read to you is the nomination forms that have been sent to us For all of our students, your picture as well as what I read about you will be the next issue of the Norwood Star, and your pictures will also be on the district webpage. And for the staff members, your write-up and your pictures will be on the district webpage. And so we're going to normally start with our students, but we got a couple students that are almost here, so we're going to start with our staff members first. So it brings us to Norwood High School's Rising Star for the month of May is Mrs. Christina Chesson. It is an honor to recognize Mrs. Christina Chesson as a Norwood High School Rising Star for the month of May. Technically, Mrs. Chesson does not physically work in the high school. She works out of the board office. However, on any given day, Mrs. Chesson is always working on something that will benefit the high school, the teachers, the students, and many times myself. She keeps everyone up to date on educational items, and she's always quick to remind everybody about the rules. I can attest to that as working a couple feet from her. On a daily basis, Christina and I are in constant communication about many aspects of the education world: testing, curriculum, personnel, textbooks, and quite frankly, anything else that needs attention. There are so many things that Christina accomplishes that go unnoticed that I want to draw attention to all those things that Christina does for our district and our students. Even though she will not like the attention, she richly deserves it. Over the years, Christina has become a great friend and colleague. I know, as do all of the principals, that we can count on her to be of assistance for any situation or problem. There are many times when I call her desk, multiple times a day, and she always answers and is polite and patient with questions and problems that need solving. Christina is great at what she does, and I, along with many others, greatly appreciate her. She is an asset to everyone and is truly a rising star. That is submitted by our high school principal, Mr. Winterrod. As superintendent, Christina, I can't say thank you enough. You are the driving force behind our success. Thank you. Chris, I know you want to sit down, but you're going to stay up here for a while. Norwood Middle School May Rising Staff Star is Miss Sue Biven. Sue Biven serves as a health aide for Norwood Middle School. She has worked at the middle school for 18 years and spent 2 years subbing all around the district. She has been married to Mr. Wonderful, also known as Bill, for 33 years. Her children are all Norwood graduates: Mark, Michelle, Tiffany, and Daniel. Mrs. Biven loves her 6 grandchildren and is looking forward to spending more time with them after she retires from Norwood. As a health aide, she has taken care of children's needs with a smile on her face for many, many years. For years, Mrs. Biven has served as a secretary for an hour so the secretary can take lunch. Mrs. Blackburn, Norwood Middle School secretary, shared. Sue is a very caring person. She loves her kids and her grandkids. We will sorely miss her. Mrs. Strausser, Norwood City School District nurse, reports Mrs. Biven was one of the first health aides in the district at the inception of developing a health team for our entire district. She's a dear friend and colleague, and we will all miss her greatly. It is people like Sue Biven that make Norwood Middle School great. Congratulations. Sharpsburg Elementary and Primary Schools Rising Staff Star for the month of May is Tammy Radford. The staffs of Sharpsburg Primary and Elementary School take great pride in our May nomination for Staff Rising Star, Tammy Radford. Tammy has spent her teaching career caring for students in both the middle school and Sharpsburg Elementary. Tammy is a natural-born teacher and a constant learner. She brings peace to the classroom, and all the students remember her gentleness and kindness. She is the ultimate professional. She loves her students and has rolled with the ups and downs of education like a true professional. Tammy is a teacher who inspires and encourages her students, as well as those around her, to strive for greatness, live to their fullest potential, and to see the best in ourselves as well as those surrounding us. Tammy is someone we admire and someone we aspire to be like, both professionally and in life. She has a hard work ethic and can always be counted on to get things done. In the years that we have worked with her, she has taught us many important professional and life lessons. Her commitment to excellence and her ability to make students realize their own professional growth and personal talents is inspiring. Tammy's patience with her students and willingness to do whatever it takes to help students succeed is amazing. She is flexible and always willing to do what needs to be done to help her students and her teaching team. She always had the reputation of being one of the nicest teachers among both the students and the staff. She is dedicated, extremely hardworking, and a talented teacher. It is with mixed emotions that we will all wish her well in her choice to retire at the end of this school year. There are so many students who return to visit her and will gladly tell you that Mrs. Radford taught them not only all of the skills they needed in whatever subject she was charged with instructing, but also how to be respectful, disciplined, kind, and a productive person. That is the mark of a genuine educator. Tammy Radford will be truly missed in the Norwood City School District. We all wish Tammy good luck and happiness in her retirement plans and thank her for her dedicated years of service to the entire Norwood City School District and Norwood community. Thank you, Tammy. Norwood View's Rising Staff Star for the month of May is Natalie Stemple. Natalie began her teaching career at Norwood View 4 years ago. She currently teaches 4th grade science and social studies. Natalie is an amazing teacher. She develops hands-on, engaging lessons that promote high student achievement. She continually adjusts her teaching methods and lesson content in order to meet the needs of all of the students in her class. Natalie also devotes her time and energy to helping students during homework hangout every Tuesday and Wednesday after school. During this time, she offers one-on-one and small group instruction to students needing additional help. Natalie is a pleasure to work with. She is very patient, kind, and always has a positive attitude. She has been a fantastic addition to the staff at Norwood View. Natalie, we appreciate all that you do to make Norwood View a great place to learn and grow. Congratulations. Williams Avenue Elementary School Rising Staff Star for the month of May is Katie Roberts. Miss Roberts is a teacher's aide that works with Williams first grade students for 2 years now. She is a very important component to our team. Katie is on time each day, very professional, and creates work for our children to advance their learning without waiting for our prompts. She is very thorough in everything that she does. The students work very hard for her. If you could peek at Miss Roberts' work area in the hall, you would immediately see her organization and dedication to our students' growth. She progress monitors our students in the area of reading and math every Thursday, helps with unfinished assignments, reviews students' work, and more so completes teacher tasks faster than we can even blink. We hope Miss Roberts knows just how grateful we are for all that she does for us and for our students. Thank you for being our Rising Star this month, Miss Roberts. Congratulations. Congratulations again, guys. Next, we'd like to move to our Rising Star students for the month of April, beginning with Norwood High School Rising Star students, Jalen Cooper and Jennifer Sepulveda. Norwood High School is proud to select Jalen Cooper as a Rising Star for the month of May. He is an outstanding junior student with a demanding schedule who also participates in many school activities such as football, basketball, and the student store, to name a few. He is a great role model in our school who is always respectful to the staff and friendly to other students. He is a trustworthy student, can always be relied on to get the job done. Simply ask any teacher and they will tell you how nice it is to have him in their class and what a genuinely great young man he is. It is a pleasure having a student in our building who is such a hard worker with a positive and fun attitude. Norwood High School is honored to have Jalen as one of its finest students. Congratulations. Jennifer is a perfect example of a rising star. She is an excellent role model for other Norwood students to follow. She is always willing to help others and very caring about her older and younger brothers. Jennifer is very involved with her academics and after-school clubs. Jennifer is very successful in and out of the classroom. I have heard from her teachers and peers that she always comes prepared for her classes and always has extra supplies to loan out to her classmates. Jennifer is also a class officer on the academic team, which did very well this year. Jennifer helps out with the Avenues for Success after-school program and at sporting events. I know for sure that Jennifer will be very successful no matter what the future holds for her. I want Jennifer to know that we can't thank her enough what she has done to help the Avenues for Success after-school program and the athletic program. Congratulations, Jennifer. Norwood Middle School is proud to announce Odessa Birch and Jordan Piccola as the Rising Star students for the month of May. Norwood Middle School is proud to announce Odessa Birch as a Rising Star student for the month of May. As a 7th grader at the middle school, Odessa makes it her personal goal to demonstrate all of the school's pride and peace builder characteristics in the way she treats others. Odessa is quiet, good-natured, and hardworking. Odessa was a unanimous selection as our last Rising Star for the year. Her teachers praised Odessa for her great work ethic and her never-give-up attitude, and the good example that she sets for others. She credits her success to paying attention in class and making school a priority. In addition to academics, Odessa participates in cheerleading and tumbling and hopes to make strings next year. Her favorite class is social studies, and she hopes to get straight A's the rest of her academic career here in Norwood. One day, it's her dream to attend Harvard University and become a lawyer. What lofty goals. Norwood Middle School is expecting amazing things from Odessa Birch in the future. Congratulations. Jordan Piccola is the 8th grade Rising Star student for this month. Jordan transferred to the district at the end of February, but you would never know he was a new student. When Jordan enrolled, teachers recognized the spark in him right away. He is polite, caring, dedicated, and wise. He had a very smooth transition and jumped right into his learning at Norwood Middle School. Jordan prefers Norwood Middle School over his old school. He stated that Norwood offers more classes and they aren't as boring. Teachers make learning fun and joke around with their students. Jordan knows the teachers at the middle school truly care about him. Outside of school, Jordan likes going to the park, watching sports, and listening to country music. Jordan's short-term goal is to maintain his AB average. Jordan recognizes that some jobs require a college degree, therefore he is striving to obtain good grades in order to receive a scholarship. He has his heart set on becoming either a carpenter or an architect as his future career. Jordan is a wonderful example of a student who is going places in life. Congratulations, Jordan, on being our Rising Star Student of the Month. Sharpsburg Elementary and Primary School's Rising Star students for May are Aaron Daniels and Jaden Winans. Sharpsburg Primary School is proud to nominate 1st grade Aaron Daniels as our May Rising Star. Aaron is always prepared, eager to learn, and helpful to others. She comes to school every day with a smile and a pleasant attitude. Erin is an absolute joy to teach and a great role model to her peers. We feel as though we learn just as much from her as she learns so much each day. She volunteers every morning to come in and read with others who need her support and a kind listening ear. Erin is the first person to include anyone who may not have a partner, whether that be on the playground or in the classroom. She truly is a student leader and has shown great character throughout the school year. Erin not only pursues academic growth in the classroom, but also in her home and in after-school activities. Erin is a dream student who is admired by her peers and teachers alike. We're fortunate to have grown with Erin this year and are looking forward to hearing about the many amazing feats that Erin will accomplish in her life. Congratulations, Erin. Jaden Winans is an exceptional 5th grade student at Sharpsburg Elementary. Jaden has an excellent attitude every day. She always comes into homeroom with a big smile. She's in charge of putting all the mail in the mailboxes for homeroom. She always asks if there's anything else that I need done. She is very diligent in doing this each and every morning. Jaden works hard in the classroom as well. Her binder is so well organized that when students are absent and need notes to be copied, we know we can rely on Jaden to provide her binder. She participates daily and always has her homework. Jaden is an absolute pleasure to have in class. She is one shining bulldog. Norwood Elementary School Rising Star students for the month of May are Yarley Sanchez Mesa and Xavier Hernandez. It is an honor to recognize Yarley Sanchez as a Rising Star student for the month of May. Yarley is a 5th grade student at Norwood View. He is a very hardworking and dedicated student. Yarley gives his best effort on all assignments and desires to learn new things. He enjoys doing science experiments and has a great memory for scientific facts. Yarley enjoys joking around with his teachers and friends. This is apparent in the silly stories he writes, and he has developed his creative writing skills. He is creative and has also displayed such in his intricate drawings and artwork. Yarley loves art class and pays close attention to every detail in all of his projects. Beware of challenging Yarley in a board game. He is very competitive and who proudly takes winning the title in many of the games he plays with his peers. Though he is competitive, Yarley is very calm and kind-hearted. He always brings a peaceful presence to the classroom. Congratulations, Yarley, for being a Norwood View Rising Star. It is our pleasure to nominate Xavier Hernandez as a kindergarten Rising Star student for the month of May. Xavier comes to school every day with a fantastic attitude and is always an enthusiastic student. Xavier is always prepared and willing to put forth his best effort, no matter what the lesson or task. He consistently follows directions and makes good choices. He is always eager to help teachers and his classmates. He is a role model to the other students by always working hard, showing kindness to others, and being responsible. Congratulations, Xavier. You have definitely earned it. Williams Avenue Elementary School Rising Star students from May are Michael Wood and Neanne Segrist Bellama. The 6th grade team would like to nominate Michael Wood for the May Rising Star. Michael continues to be a wonderful example for his peers. He constantly gives his best effort and attitude in everything that he does. In every situation, he is a leader for his peers. He always comes to school with a smile, continues to push himself to learn more and to do better. Because of all of his hard work and perseverance, he is a great representative of a Williams Wildcat. He is sure to do well in the middle school, and keep up the great work, Michael. Neanne Segrist Bellama is the perfect example of a rising star both in the classroom and on the soccer field. First off, Neanne is a very hard worker. Not only does she put in her maximum effort into every assignment and assessment, but she also asks for help when needed. She completes all of her assignments on time and puts time into studying for tests. Secondly, Neanne is a great leader and a role model to her peers. She is a trustworthy individual, leading by example. She sets a good example that motivates others to be successful. Neanne is also very attentive in all classes. There's hardly a time that goes by when she doesn't have her hand up to participate or to volunteer. She is polite and respectful of adults and her peers. Lastly, Neanne takes responsibility for her own actions without prompting from other individuals. She knows what is expected at all times. It has been just a great pleasure to have Neanne in our class this year. Congratulations on your hard work. Congratulations again, guys. You got everybody else? Guys, everybody who's been recognized tonight, we at this point take about a 2 or 3 minute break. You're free to stay for the rest of the meeting, which is probably 10 more minutes, or we take a break if anybody would like to leave. Thank you very much for attending. Congratulations.
7, education report. Mr. Racy?
Thank you, Mr. President. Make a motion to approve the following items. The approval of the 2014-2015 Norwood High School graduates pending meeting final graduation requirements. Approval of the Ohio High School Athletic Association membership for 2015-16 school year. Approval of Hamilton County Development Disability Services 2015-16 school year. Approval of Hamilton County Educational Service Center 2015-16 service agreement. Approval of the increase in lunch price for the 2015-16 school year. Type A lunch for elementary $2.50, Type A lunch for middle school, high school $2.75.
I'll second.
Ms. Scott-Geraci?
Yes.
Mr. Bryant?
Yes.
And I am a yes also.
If I could just make one note, the lunch price increase is not a decision of Norwood City School District, nor is it a decision of Norwood City School District. It is a federal mandate through the Federal Child Nutrition Act that we have to increase prices. We had to do it 2 years ago. This is not the desire or the decision of Norwood City Schools. It is a unfunded federal mandate.
Let's see, item 8 would be personnel.
Mr. Bryant, members of the board, I have a number of items before you under personnel this evening, beginning with letter A, resignations, 2 individuals. Letter B, employment. Number 1, administrative contracts, 2015-16 school year, 4 individuals. Number 2, approval of stipend, 1 individual. Number 3, teacher contracts for the 2015-16 school year. A, 5 individuals recommended for a continuing contract. 20 individuals recommended for their third one-year contract. Letter C, 15 individuals recommended for their second one-year contract. Number 4, summer school staff, 2014-15, 4 individuals recommended. Number 5, summer school extended service multiple handicap unit, summer 2015, 2 individuals recommended. Number 6, summer food service, 6 individuals recommended. Number 7, summer maintenance, 1 individual. Number 8, extended days, 1 individual. Number 9, classified substitutes, 2014-15 school year, 1 individual. Number 10, non-renewal of classified substitutes, 2 individual. And number 11, change of status, 1 individual. And that concludes my recommendations under personnel this evening.
Make a motion for approval of the recommendations.
I'll second. Ms. Scott-Geraci?
Yes.
Mr. Bryant?
Yes.
And I am a yes also.
Next item would be policy committee report. Mr. Faulkner?
Thank you, Mr. President. By recommendation of committee, I'd like to make a motion for the approval of item 9A, the policies as listed.
I'll second.
Ms. Scott-Geraci?
Yes.
Mr. Bryant?
Yes.
And I'm a yes also.
Okay. Item 10 is buildings and grounds. I'd like to make a motion for the approval of item A, 1 and 2.
Second.
Ms. Scott-Geraci?
Yes.
Mr. Bryant?
Yes.
And I'm a yes also.
Next item is finance report. Mr. Modio?
Yeah, Mr. President, members of the board, I have a number of items before you on the finance report. Please note that each one of the different items do have an individual vote box. Begin with letter A, approval of financial reports, April 2015.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Scott-Geraci?
Yes.
Mr. Bryant?
Yes.
And I'm a yes.
Letter B, approval of West Side Paving and Excavating as the lowest competitive bid of $179,670 for the Sharpsburg paving and curb replacement.
Make a motion.
Second.
Ms. Scott-Geraci?
Yes.
Mr. Bryant?
Yes.
And I'm a yes also.
Letter C, approval of Kramer and Feldman Incorporated as the lowest competitive bid of $77,039 for Shea Stadium concessions renovation.
Make a motion for approval.
A second.
Ms. Scott-Geraci?
Yes.
Mr. Bryant?
Yes.
And I'm a yes also.
Letter D, approval of Quality Masonry Company Incorporated as the lowest competitive bid of $370,300 for Williams Avenue Elementary masonry restoration.
Make a motion for approval.
Second.
Ms. Scott-Geraci?
Yes.
Mr. Bryant?
Yes.
And I'm a yes also.
Letter E, approve of Houston Brothers Waterproofing as the lowest competitive bid of $138,800 for Norwood Elementary masonry restoration.
I make a motion.
Second.
Ms. Cattaracy?
Yes.
Mr. Bryant?
Yes.
And I'm a yes also.
Letter F, approval of Scarlet and Gray Facility Services for second-year contract option of $278,990 effective June 1, 2015. And I would like to make a note that is just a 0.5% increase over last year. And since 2009, we have been able to reduce, by competitively bidding, we've been able to reduce the cleaning services for our school district by $151,480.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Ms. Cattaracy?
Yes.
Mr. Bryant?
Yes.
And I'm a yes also.
Letter G, approval of the 5-year forecast.
I'll make a motion for approval.
Second.
Ms. Cattaracy?
Yes.
Mr. Bryant?
Yes.
And I'm a yes also.
And letter H, approval of resolution accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor.
I'll make a motion for approval.
I'll second.
Ms. Cattaracy?
Yes.
Mr. Bryant?
Yes.
And I'm a yes also.
Okay. Let's see, next item would be hearing of the public. We have no, nobody here for that. Board announcements?
Just like to congratulate our 2015 graduates on the upcoming graduation.
Superintendent's report?
Superintendent's report is several items. Just a reminder that next Saturday, May 30th at 9:30 a.m. in Cintas Arena on Xavier's campus is the 116th graduating class, the class of 2015. We'll be walking across the dais at Cintas. And also, great credit to the work of numerous people on our competitive bids for all of our restoration and renovation facility projects. The projects themselves came in significantly. At the end of the day, about $58,000 under budget, which enabled us to add some additional work and capture even more work than what we had initially bid for. And all this work will be done before our students come back to school. That concludes my superintendent's report this evening.
Thank you. So that puts us down to meeting notifications. All meetings listed below will be held at the board office meeting room unless notified. 2132 Williams Avenue, Norwood, Ohio. Committee meeting Tuesday, June 9th, 2015 at 5:30. Regular board meeting Thursday, June 18th, 2015 at 6 o'clock. I'd like to make a motion for approval.
I'll second.
Ms. Cattaracy?
Yes.
Mr. Bryant?
Yes.
And I'm a yes also.
All right. So we have no executive session, so.
Make a motion for adjournment.
I'll second.
Ms. Cattaracy?
Yes.
Mr. Bryant?
Yes.
And I'm a yes also. We are adjourned at 7:06.
Okay.